Hello and welcome to Couples Real Talk today. My name is Precious.
And we are the
Precious.
Preciouses.
Must you always bring that line?
Of course, that's my brand. We are
Can
the
you
Preciouses.
imagine?
There's
Must
nothing
you
you can
always
do about
bring
it.
the line? Welcome everyone to Couples Real Talk. First of all, I want to start by apologizing for we didn't come up last week or so.
Yeah.
Is man working in this
Work
country,
schedule.
no be here. Working in this country, sometimes you just come back from work, you plan things you want to do,
And they replan it for you.
and sleep replans it for you sometimes. So we want to say sorry we couldn't meet up last time. Oh. We couldn't meet it up last time, so we decided we'll do it today. And today we'll be discussing on divorce. Now we have a group on WhatsApp where couples meet and we discuss, we share ideas, we share what bothers us. We also pray together on the group. So recently most questions has been coming up on the group, and we'll be taking some of the questions that have come up and some that has dropped in our email. Now we have a group that an email, the Precious' email, in case you have any topic you want us to discuss about, something you want us to pray with you about. We pray every last Saturday of the month. So in case you need something you want us to pray with you about as a family, you just send it to that email. So we're going to drop the email together under this video. So I'll be taking some of the questions. Well, can we take all this?
Let's try it.
All right, let's take one of them. Is one of the questions that really caught my fancy is this person asks, is it okay for unmarried couples to have a joint account? Why are you laughing? Answer. Yeah, I'm doing the asking, you're doing the answering. I'm doing the asking, you're doing the answering. So is it okay for unmarried couples, keyword, unmarried couples, to have a joint account?
Is there even anything like unmarried couples?
I think that's where the problem is coming from.
Okay. I mean, people have their takes on this topic.
Okay, let me rephrase it. Is it okay for unmarried people who are in a relationship together? Of course, they are boyfriend and girlfriend, or fiancé and fiancé, to have a joint account.
I don't know. Generally, different situations, different societies have different things that are obtainable. But for me personally, I don't think it's wise. Like I said, different societies believe in different things, but my own opinion is not necessary. It's not even all married people have joint accounts. So it's not necessary. Joint accounts were brought out for like business people, married people that want to manage their finance. For me, my own opinion, joint accounts is something that calls to a level of responsibility. Why I say different society calls from different things.
I like that part of responsibility.
Yeah, so
I like that part of responsibility because I've had a situation actually where the lady was earning more than the guy,
and they were not putting in one account.
The guy felt like, okay, the only way to control this lady is by let's have a joint account. And it got to a point she was practically begging to access her own money. It's one of the reasons why I actually kicked out, because it caused a serious issue. They had to start doing court case and all that, because they didn't just have a joint account. The account became the girl's salary account.
It doesn't make sense. See, I don't advise that. Even the scripture says wisdom is profitable to direct in all your gettings, get understanding. So I don't feel that there is depending on your society. There are some society that protects like your interest to a level, but I at least I know that my audience are from my nationality majorly. So when I'm saying it's not necessary. It's called a joint account. Okay, so what's joining you guys? Business, allow them to join you first. Let them join you. When you are joined, calm down. Like it can make
like
it
that
can
part
it can
let them
join you first before you start joining any other thing. I mean, don't put unnecessary strain on yourself, because it will bring a lot of pretense. You see that joint account that you're opening before you get married, somebody will be like, okay, this person see my expenses, let me just pretend, and then you end up getting married and find out, boom, that somebody that was managing 5,000 a month can no longer use 30,000.
Using your salary,
and then it gives you a very no pressure. It's not that one party can carry the money and go. That's not even where we are coming from. Like it can bring a lot of pretense,
like what I said that day.
unnecessary. I don't.
For you to have joint account with someone, you should know the person's level of financial responsibility. Now, I'm not going to have a joint account with you if I know my money is not safe.
Okay, now let me ask you a question, Seth. What is the joint account for? Because the reason why
there is a reason.
The reason why couples open joint accounts is
even
maybe
couples are not advised to have all their money in a joint account. So joint account is most like family expenses.
What's joint account for? Ice cream.
Most times they go for outing, shawarma.
Excuse me, if we go for outing and we want to pay for something together, we split our bills. We don't need a joint account for that.
Yeah.
Because excuse me, what responsibility are you
splitting bills in Nigeria? I think we need to talk about this topic. In Nigeria, we don't split bills. It's in UK here we split bills. In Nigeria,
different societies call for different things, but when generally you are not married, you don't have any responsibility attached to two of you.
There is no need.
There is no need.
But like I always say,
different things works for
different thing works for different people. You can decide to do the joint account.
We'll bring lawyers.
To your tent. to your big. But personally, I've never seen it end well. I have never. It's either one person starts feeling cheated. Yes, I've never seen it end well. But I can always say what works for me. What we are doing here is not professional relationship counseling.
It's just reality. We are talking of reality talk.
But you can
do what works for you.
Do what works for you, but use common sense. Let's jump to the next question. Well, we didn't want to be staying long on this podcast. Let's go to the next question. This one says, I live and work in the UK with my wife and 2 kids. I work 6 days every week, not because I want to, but because it's big. What's this guy writing? Not because I want to, because it's beginning to really tell on my health. But okay, I'm avoiding staying at home.
He's trying to say that he's working 6 days a week, not because he wants maybe to meet up, but then
okay. It says here, my wife does not stop nagging me anytime.
I don't understand. Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing. Oh, I'm getting the question now. He said he does not like staying at home. He's in the UK, most people work 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. So he is now doing 6 days a week. So meaning he works Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then stays at home on Sunday and run off on Monday. Or maybe on Sunday he goes to the pub or look for somewhere to hide in the room till Monday.
So what is the problem?
Says, please, what do I do? Now, because his issue here now is he's beginning to tell on his health. He's not supposed to do that much. Now, I know
is it that he's doing it to stay away from his wife?
From the house, yes, from the nugget. Now, I know some organizations will not even allow you work 6 days in a row. So meaning he's doing 2 jobs. Because my office won't allow you to do 6 days in a row.
Definitely, I'm going to come from the perspective of a nurse. It doesn't really solve anything. It doesn't solve anything.
He's running away from the
running away from a challenge.
What should he do?
Run away from a challenge is not going to solve it. If your wife is nagging you, sit your ass down. Sit your wife ass down. You guys should try and figure it out. What is the problem? Number one, is your wife working? What is keeping her busy? Are you like from when you married her till now?
From this statement now, it means the woman is always at home.
If the woman is always at home, what else do you expect? She's gonna nag you.
But who stays at home in this UK?
see, most times, because most times you have to work long hours, childcare, so people you don't necessarily, your wife doesn't necessarily need to go to any office to be working. Get one of the major solutions I would say in this matter. You go to work and you come back, your wife nags you. Women are not mad. Let's forget that naturally we can be very funny, but no woman is mad. No woman can just wake up and start nagging you. What is the problem? Is the problem that she's complaining that you're always not at home? Or is the problem money? Or is the problem that she's just lazy, bored?
No.
Find out what the problem is. Now, going away and going to work 6 days because your wife is nagging is not going to stop her from. You will still come back on the 7th day.
There are people that are naturally naggist.
Then get her a therapist. There's a solution to everything. See, let us be real. Get her a therapist. What I'm saying
she
is,
has a mental problem.
I'm not saying anybody has a mental problem. What I'm saying is that there is a solution to every matter. Now you are just this definitely a new couple. You are going to start raising kids.
No, you say he has 2 kids.
You have a whole long future ahead of you. So you will be working since till you are 57 or 60.
And it's quite dangerous.
Then when you now retire, won't you stay with your wife?
Yeah, because he could break down.
It doesn't make sense.
And then put the family in financial problems.
Let's just use this thing and generalize on everything. Whether it's the woman that is nagging or the man that is nagging or anything that is happening, that the problem is that you are staying away from home to avoid that problem. It's not going to solve it's going to only bring another problem. Before you know it now, you have started staying at home to staying over at someone's place or staying over somewhere or going to somewhere. Before you know it, trust UK people, you bring child and you now have childcare to pay. This is not even, nobody's interested in marrying you. That money that you think you are making, you will now start splitting it into 1 million, please. I'm just trying to be realistic. Somebody is nagging. What is the problem? If it is that you know that when you're like there's nothing your wife is doing, that can make a woman not just a woman is like a flower. You have to nurture. Like if you married her and she was sewing and maybe because of the situation, let's suggest something. Just bring one day, like bring something to her table. If she can make clothes, if she can make hair, even if she can't do it, she can go online and teach this. Like, let her be useful to herself. Let her feel like she's growing.
I think the issue is she's not busy.
One thing that makes women behave like this is they feel like you're progressing career-wise, you're working, you're doing something. I'm just here. I'm not doing anything. Another question is, was she a career person before you married her and not decided to keep her at home because of childcare? Find out what the problem is. If you find out what the nagging
story is not adding up.
Yeah, then we can now.
When we know the one causing the reasons for nagging.
When we find out what the problem is, we will not be able to answer this question. But what I'm saying now is that staying away from your house is not going to solve anything. That is it in your house. We have not even started the topic.
We've not started our topic fully. Okay. Let me take the last question. I think we can only take 3 questions today. Maybe next week we'll take some other of the question. So I say I'm planning to marry this man. We have even gone for introduction, but recently I've come to understand that our values about a lot of things are different. What do I do?
You already know what to do. I can't tell you what to do. The truth is that
now my challenge with this question, when I read it, is not specific.
It's not specific.
What values? If you people are having
values
in everything, then forget about the marriage.
There are values that
there are values that you can mend.
Belief, like religion.
I don't like when I got married to my wife, I drink like 4 bottles of Coke every day. My wife does not like Coke. Things like that can be mended. I had to stop.
Yeah.
There are values of finances. Most of my financial values I had to learn. Those like that. There are certain values.
Discipline, morals.
There are values of, if someone has a value that he's someone that harasses people. Violence.
Those ones I beg.
Those are the kind of values you should be concerned about. If someone has value of coming from a family trait where they steal, and as long as it's concerned, he doesn't call it stealing, he calls it taking. Things like that. There are certain like, values that can be,
for example, now
that can be
you believe in J, me I believe in Y.
Beliefs and all those. Yes, those are values that
you know what
you need to come to the table and say we are either changing.
If it's likes and dislikes,
but if it's likes, so for me this question is not really specific.
Yeah.
So what I would say here is come to the table of communication. Two of you should have communication. Now you know what is good and what is bad. If
you know
these
what
are
you
values you cannot cope with, please don't go into the marriage. If you can see, there is a mistake people make thinking that when you get into marriage you are going to change a lot of things. You'll be able to transform somebody and all those. It's not true. It's not true. If someone has an issue or a personality that you want to change, please, as much as is within your power, try to change it before marriage.
See, there's don't try to train. You can't change a human being.
If you can't change it before marriage, don't marry the person.
You cannot change a human being. You can only influence someone to adjust.
I've had situations where I had to talk to people. Why did you have to marry this person when you know fully well that this individual, this is his or her character, like this is who they are, and they say I thought I could change them when we get married? You can't change it. In fact, marriage emboldens people's character
and traits, even the hidden ones.
Someone can be hiding things from me just because he wants to get to you and all that. Marriage kinds of impose. So if you cannot change it before you get married to the person, do not get married to the person. Marriage is a long life stuff.
So the conclusion of the matter is weigh the values. What do you mean by values? Is it
there's a plane flying over our head?
Is it I like biscuits, he likes cookies? Those ones are things that you can compromise on and adjust. You can always buy cookies and biscuits. He's eating his cookies, you'll be eating your biscuits. But if it is things that are major life decisions, like you don't believe in this, he believes in this. You don't believe in this, he believes in this. And you know that it's going to affect decision making. Some people already start fighting about child upbringing. Like you have a total different. He says he doesn't want to do this with his children. You say
yes. You start.
There is no discuss it. If there is no meeting point,
it will definitely come up.
There's nothing
that it will definitely. If it's not trashed out, it will come up.
Yeah,
there's
so
nothing like sweeping. There's not like sweeping anything under the carpet.
If it's something that cannot be compromised,
don't bother about it. So today we are talking about divorce. Now, some of the topics we've taken are some of the tiny little things that leads to divorce. Now, I had a situation one time. Two couples divorced because the woman ate meat before the man from the soup.
I don't understand.
Now, what happened was that they were both eating peacefully. So the woman put hand in the pot, in the plate, and collected meat and ate. Now, as far as the man is concerned, that's an insult. Now, that's what we are talking about, values. It's coming from a family where you don't eat meat until the food is finished and the daddy takes meat first. So now the woman took meat and ate. The man slapped her for eating the meat, and the woman returned the favor of the slap, and there was violence. Now the man beat up the woman. The woman went and called her brothers, and they beat the man and locked him up in cell. You've seen how piece of meat has escalated to police problem. Now, there are tiny little things that causes that. If you hear it, I was reading about something recently. The report said that 80% of the people who divorce say they still love each other. So most times it's not really about love.
There's something we need to understand that this generation has not understood. Marriage is a responsibility. Marriage is not
where I'm going.
It's not a dwelling place of arrival of let's go and sleep.
The issue is that we all
some people are not ready to put in
that
the work.
Responsibility.
I used to always say this thing. Some of us ladies that are doing woke generation and screaming, I cannot do this, I cannot do this. If they tell us some of the challenges, some of our dads had. I mean, some of the things our moms had to put up with. You will not believe, even though my daddy is a superhero on his birthday, you write all manner of things. There were works, there were things your mom dealt with. There were, wisdom that she played, that she used.
But most times they don't even tell
they
you
won't
about
tell
it.
you about it.
See,
You won't
within
know.
the few months
That's
I've
the
spent in
responsibility
marriage,
of
I've
a
discovered
woman.
that marriage is you make sacrifices
Thank
every
you.
day.
Apart from violence, so I'm not saying like when man is violating you, not keep it. No, we're not talking of violence. We're talking of little things like there are some characters that
like
your
this
dad
story
have
I just
that you will not
narrated now
believe.
is what is taking meat from the plate.
Now,
That should be a problem.
The beginning of this story, that meat was not even the beginning of the problem.
There must have
There
been
have
something
been
that
strife,
has been built.
yes. There have been strife. So because I mean, what do you mean meat?
Because when I heard about what happened, I could not. If I had to ask the man, like, what's going on?
The truth is that the man has been feeling
There's
disrespected
been
for a long time.
inbuilt bitterness.
Yes, and then
going
no
on.
communication. He has been feeling, it's either he has been feeling disrespected and has not communicated it, or has been feeling disrespected and be pretending that he's not feeling like that, or he has been feeling disrespected and miscommunicated it.
Now, one of the ways to avoid divorce, which I have seen so far, is communication. If someone does something you don't like, tell the person, this thing you did is wrong. Get it off your chest, because most of the times what causes the problem is sweeping things under the bed.
Then one day you can't.
Then one day everything that was swept under the bed will be swept out, and then it becomes a refuse dump. And now the person is speaking in a place of anger and
it's
no longer
telling you
this
what
thing you did that happened.
Like,
it is now
you are this,
and you are wondering, is it this little thing I did that you are talking to me like this? And then the other person responds based on what I did not warrant this, and then there is an outburst everywhere.
See, let me just say this thing. What people need to understand, what we need to understand in this generation is that marriage is not a ceremony. It's not like I need to write that one. It's not like I've gotten to the age I need to marry. Marriage is a responsibility.
I think that is another thing we need to debunk in our society, especially in Africa.
You need to put your mind and be ready to get married. See, it's just like the society we found ourselves in now. You see most of these younger people, I can't take that. He should go his way. You see their parents, 99 years old, they are still holding their husband's hands and walking along. The same parents that produced this lousy one that is screaming, maybe because she asked for a red hair and they bought her a blue hair. She said he's not a man and all that. See, I've said this before. We ladies, we men, we need to start taking responsibility over. If you know you don't want responsibilities, stay alone. Nobody is going to beat you up.
Nobody is going to force you.
But then if you know you want to go into marriage, you're going to be responsible. There is a level of work you're going to put. You're going to understand that this person is a human being. I'm a human being. Two of us are two different people with two different backgrounds, two different upbringings coming together to make a home. Always ask yourself this question: how did my mom do it? How did our parents, for those of us that are lucky enough to have
our parents
that
stick together, I wanted to bring that up.
Put it together. So, but let's tell ourselves the truth. In this our society, we still have the society where majority of our parents talk together. Ask yourself, okay, even if your parents not together, look for one set of couple that stick together and ask yourself, do you think these people don't get offended? Now, we are not going to stay and tell you, divorce is this one, divorce is that. We are not here to discuss. We are just trying to say, why not focus on the marriage instead of focusing on the divorce, on the issue? Focus on what you can do right instead of because the problem is you divorce, you're still going to meet another human being, and two of you are still going to have differences, except when it comes to violence. And there are some things that like those ones are violence. Nobody is telling clear-cut step out. When it comes to, I don't like, he did not respect me, she did not honor me, he does not care for me, he does not sit down and have conversations. have it at the back of your mind that marriage is work, is assignment. Another thing is, do you know that divorce is a spirit? And have you noticed that it's like it has been unleashed on this our generation? Like sometimes nothing will even happen. Somebody will not take anything. I mean, some people even have the paper ready before they
get married. Yes, it's called. I forgot what I think they call it the prenup or something.
I don't know what that thing is. They even have the paper ready. So if you do we sign it and just start going our ways. What do you think we came to buy and sell?
It's like I will always say, marriage is an institution that God actually established.
Honored and established by God
himself. So if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Don't go into marriage with a mindset, and whatever you are going out from this podcast today, know that take communication as the first thing. Communication is one of two. We are not coming here to discuss who should divorce and who should not divorce. No. But before you make up your mind on that, come to the table of communication.
Talk. If two of you can't handle it, involve a third party.
When you can't handle it yourself, get a third party.
When you can't handle it, third party must not be your village people or anybody. Get a therapist. Look for somebody. Have a spiritual cover you can talk. And this is another thing that we are talking about, being intentional about your marriage. Marriage is spiritual. You cannot handle it physically.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know that somebody's lineage, background issues, something that happened to the father's father, the person is struggling with that thing and it's rubbing off on your marriage. Instead of you, maybe as a lady, to stand in the gap and preserve your home, you add fuel to it. Most of we don't even reason again. Everything is about you. He did, I did, she did, I want. She did not respect, he did not respect.
My rights, my rules, and God, please take care of your marriages. You see, we're having a lot of dysfunctional children coming. We live in the UK, and I've seen a lot of dysfunctional children because of most of them are coming from dysfunctional homes.
For no reason.
A lot of
two of us, we are very opportune to work with very elderly people. When I mean elderly, 90s. And one thing they always say is, love your wife.
They tell you to
love your husband.
Oh God, I don't want to go there.
If he ranks you, sit down and apologize. And sometimes they are saying these things in tears. They are saying, when somebody that is in their 90s is telling you
the way
that, when I mean people that have money, houses, car, as in properties, that at the end of the day they have seen life to the point that they have come back to that circle of it's only them. They'll just be telling you, be happy, love God, like whatever you believe in, love God, love your wife and your husband. If they wrong you, just sit down and apologize. One will always tell me that whatever your husband did to you, just know that somebody out there is going to do worse. Like,
seriously?
No, I'm serious. She always say, no matter what your husband does to you, someone out there is going to do worse. Running off is never going to solve the problem.
Doesn't solve it.
What devil is doing now?
And this goes for that man that is running away from his nagging wife too.
What devil is doing now is he takes homes, sets them on confusion. God, you can't focus on purpose. You can't focus on career. Because of marriage issues, you are poor. You are not making a headway. Your mates that you are better than.
And your children are becoming disasters.
So he just knows that the marriage is the center of the society. Family is the center of the society. So he just sets fire there.
Yeah.
Everywhere else is. But you cannot be successful in your business. One day, that your son that has been seeing you beat the mother,
off everything.
will sell all those things and kill the person, not you.
As well.
So let's not chase shadows. Like what these old people are trying to say is, every other thing we go.
As I have a patient that passed on the other day, and in all her belongings, like everything she owned in her entire life was about 4 books, her picture with her husband, and like everything went into a box. Everything she owned, everything. In fact, what happened was the children didn't want to see her. The children didn't want to see her. So they just say put everything, and when the funeral people came, took the body and all that. You see this life,
You see, that's
it's
God,
just
God was
you
not.
and your spouse that
Your
you
children
have.
will go. Even your children
It's
are going to
just
find their own life. Your children will go. After giving birth, you will train them. You will usher them into the world. They will go. They'll be taking care of you, but they will leave you. When God was finished creating Adam and decided in his mind that let me make Eve, he was not confused. It does not mean that Adam did not have all the 5 senses of organs to live. He knew that it was going to be a boring and lonely world. Learn how to hold your spouse's hands together. And people that have done it, they did not have 30 heads. Learn from other people's mistakes. We have a lot of divorces happening around us. That's the why reason why we should even be alert.
Unnecessary divorce is becoming an intentional move to.
As in, it's not a threat.
It's now
a
trend.
talk, like a trend.
Yeah.
Like ladies, they even have a group. Once he does this, you leave. Once he does this, you leave. There are many guys out there. Is that what you came to this life to do?
We have to round up. Today has been quite exciting. Although this sun has been affecting my eyes since I've been here.
You are not strong.
I've been touching my eye.
I'm the real black person.
I'm not meant for
You
suffer.
see?
I'm not meant for suffer. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page. Our email is on the bio in our status, so you could copy that, send in your prayer request, send in your personal
We'll also
information.
be dropping the link of our WhatsApp group where
married people. We've had a lot of single people join the group,
couples, especially those of us that in our first few years of marriage that are trying to understand what this thing is all about. You can join the WhatsApp group. It's a place where we talk.
We share problems.
We share topics.
We just share our problems.
Nobody is anonymous. Nobody is knowing it's coming from you. We pray.
So we'll be leaving the link together with this video. You could join us, share your thoughts. You could also invite other married people you think this place will also be a blessing.
Our name is The Precious is on all our social media.
On Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. The Precious is the name. Thank you once more for joining us, and please share this to your families, your friend. You could be blessing someone with this topic. You never can tell. Thank you. See you later.
See ya. Bye.